In this video, I get to fulfill a burning desire. Well, some of you might have seen a video I did a few months ago called A Buddy for the Cold. And it was a review of a propane heater for camping and a trailer. And in that video, I gave a couple of alternatives to heating, like propane and electrical, and I hinted at a third. And that third one is a wood stove. This is my ammo can wood stove that I made, and I know there's a lot of them out there, so let me explain why this one's different and why it might be good for you. Ammo stoves are not only a neat way to keep warm and provide heat for cooking, they can also be a good alternative when ground fires at campsites are not permitted. One of the things I really like about this stove is that it's relatively compact. I can actually fit it inside my trailer underneath my bed for storage. And not only that, all the basic components, including the 6-foot stovepipe, actually fit inside the stove. So it doesn't take up additional storage for all the components. Taking everything out of the box and setting it up is pretty easy, especially when you speed up the camera. The stovepipe takes the most time. The other neat thing about this stove is it's relatively easy to find all the materials to make it. The basic concept is an ammo box, which you should be able to get in any armory surplus store. They're not usually expensive, usually about $30 or $40 for this size. And the only expensive component, or which I think is expensive, was the titanium stovepipe, which I almost paid $100 for. But you don't need that. I wanted it, so I paid the extra money. But everything else, scrap metal, a few components you can get at a hardware store, it's really not that expensive. Many parts, like this air control dial and door, are just metal easily salvaged from old barbecues or discarded appliances. Well, it's also very versatile as to what fuel you can use with it. Now, it has end loading door so that you can actually use relatively large. This is about a 12-inch piece of spruce that you can use to heat it up. Not only can you use scraps of wood, twigs, paper, whatever you can find that you can want to dispose of, but it also runs on wood pellets because it has a hopper. I've designed a unique system that uses gravity to feed the wood pellets into the stove for consistent heat over a longer length of time. That way you can use the hopper, and instead of just having to put in wood every few minutes, you can leave it for a few hours. The hopper itself is just part of the concept, as I also use another design idea, a divided combustion chamber. This forces the burn to go around a sealed baffle before it exits out the stovepipe, providing less smoke and retaining more heat. So retaining high heat is not an issue. However, keeping the heat where it is needed is just as important. A thick stove plate absorbs the heat for cooking, and a coating of vegetable oil seasons it. Having the plate removable means the seasoned surface can also be protected. An integral damper provides control to both burning speed and fire intensity. Well, I know it's not the cutest stove ever made, but I'm okay with that. I like the rustic look. And besides, it's kind of like my hiking boots. If they're not dirty and abused, they haven't been used. To light the stove, start with paper and twigs at the bottom, and once burning, add your firewood on top. Wood pellets, however, are best ignited with a torch. One small canister could last you a long time. 15 minutes in, it's 262 degrees, so it's hot enough to boil water. So that leads to the question, what kind of things can you cook with it? Anything in a pot works good. And you can also fry an egg or two. Pancakes for breakfast. Burgers. or some greasy veggie bacon. But another unique feature I added was a steamer or boiler. In it you can boil hot dogs, veggies, or even corn on the cob. The large mica window is a big asset. Not only can you see what your fire is doing, but it provides light, heat, and tons of flickering amusement. As for smoke, some does exit the chimney when the burn first starts, but disappears within minutes. A secondary burn system reignites the smoke so less unburned gases escape. The result is more heat and less smoke. Cleaning is also really easy, as there is a grooved ash trough under the combustion chamber. Just tilt the stove and slide it out. Incidentally, wood pellets leave much less ash than most firewood. Well, along with using it for heating and cooking, there's a third thing you can do with it, and that is bake, because it has a baker's oven right underneath. Perfect for pizza, nachos, casseroles, whatever you want to put in there, you can bake as well. For junk food junkies, how about tater tots? So I'm sure you've already figured out I'm kind of missing something in this video, and that's how well it heats. And the reason being, it's the middle of summer, it's a heat wave, and it's really hot. So it'd really be hard to convince you how well it heats. You're gonna have to wait a few months for that when it's a little colder. So as a camping stove, I think it'll work well for my purposes. So how can I call it a camping stove when I'm really not camping? So that's going to come as well. You're going to be seeing this stove pop up in a lot of my videos in the future. To summarize, for a little effort, a few tools, and a little perseverance, I came up with a stove that is both versatile and energy efficient. You won't serve a banquet, but for the solo traveler, it can provide all the cooking you need and heat when it's a little chilly. The best part of having a fire is just watching the fire. It's mesmerizing. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and give it a thumbs up. I'd like to show more on this series. I'd like to show you how to build this, and I'd also like to show you how I use it to heat, especially my trailer. So please keep in touch, thumbs up, and please subscribe. If you'd like to see more, please leave a comment.